I'm gonna hit you so hard you won't see nothing. Ever, 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 ever.
Audio Skulls all day.
The lyrics are just
Well, I understand that. But still, regardless, it is my job to welcome you to the 222nd episode of the Mad Science and Sly podcast.
Plus, they can see all that too when
I guess that is
in
true.
the details and all.
I guess when I think of it, honestly, I think more of for the people listening in their cars or on
Oh,
their earphones.
yeah,
and-
that's
and
true.
things of
I
that
forget
nature.
about that, but we don't get as many of those as we get video now.
And whatnot. But welcome, guys. It is yet another episode this week, and we are here, and we are ready to fill your ears with knowledge and brain capacity to the max. I like that. Horns are cool. Jared, what's going on, brother?
Chilling on the rabbit villain,
On the rabbit villain.
cause I'm not high.
So before we started the show, and I'll be very brief with this.
Thank God.
Yeah, I know. Thank God. I don't know about you guys, but we're fans of music here on this show. We're fans of all corns, all kinds of music.
Oh, you know where this is going with Epic in the building.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No. But
He said, no.
but recently, the Bayhive, Beyonce has
It's the Beehive.
I always call it the Bayhive.
No, her name is
Beyonce.
Bey.
Yeah, I know.
Once.
I like to just call it the
So
Bayhive.
it's Beehive.
I know, but it's still the Bayhive to me.
No, bro, you're tripping.
Well, that just shows you how much of
You
a
know
fan-
what? Anybody from the Beehive out there, attack this man.
No,
Please.
God, please. No, they're just as bad as Swifties, dude.
They're worse.
I know, please.
I've already proven this that they're worse.
It is not a knock. The reason I'm saying this is because she comes out with this Texas Hold'em song. This variation
Don't
of
sound so fucking down on it.
I'm not because
This
I
Texas Hold'em song.
I did make it sound kind of bad because it's not. It's super catchy, and I'm unfortunately kind of in love with it. And I'm not a huge Beyonce fan at all. I am a fan of Destiny's Child, though. I know that's going to sound a little skeptical
That's
to some
because you're
people.
a Kelly Rowland fan.
I am a Kelly Rowland fan. Hell yeah, dude.
Who isn't though?
That's good, and I'm glad you feel that way because I definitely love me some Kelly Rowland.
And whoever that other chick is.
No, but she was obviously receiving a lot of backlash, especially from country, quote unquote, stations.
Mhm.
Some country stations apparently won't play that song because they don't feel it's country music. So I don't think that song that she made is any less country than any poppy country song that maybe Morgan Wallen has made. Or
RJ,
I'm just saying.
before we start the show,
I know exactly what you said, and we know where this is going to go, but it's got to be out there. It's got to
I
be.
understand. I'm just saying. I know where it's coming from. I lived in this country long enough to understand why and how. Even though what people don't know, just because she's a mega global superstar, that she's originally from Houston, Texas.
Yes, and
So
that is correct.
she grew up on the shit.
Mhm.
So fuck off, you fucking. Never mind. Let me calm down.
I didn't want to get Jared riled up so early in the show, or maybe I did, but we'll never know. Anyway,
Ain't nobody say nothing when fucking Billy Ray Cyrus came over. The song was more popular, even though it was somebody else who made it. That was a country song.
yeah, exactly.
What was it? Lil Nas X.
Yeah,
That shit fucking global. Like,
Yeah,
come
I
on,
mean,
man.
that song
you
is-
can't pick and choose what is country or what's not country just because you think because this person doesn't look like you, it doesn't count.
exactly.
And that's where the anger starts to creep in for me. And then the other thing is a lot of people, I just lost my train of thought real quick.
It's all right.
A lot of people, just keep going.
Well, a lot of people suck is what I think Jared really was trying to get to the point. No, but I'm not a huge Beyonce fan, but I really like the song. I think it's catchy. We're going to be hearing a lot of it.
Epic said country music isn't country music anymore. I mean, yeah, I agree. It's pop. Everything, even hip hop isn't, in my opinion, a lot of hip hop that you hear on the radio is not hip hop. That is fucking hip hop. Like, and fucking that was the same thing that Yasin Bey, aka Mos Def, said about Drake.
Mm-hmm.
He's fucking pop.
Yeah,
Let's be real. That like you ain't gonna ever see him in a fucking battle rap. You're not gonna see him fucking spraying graffiti on a wall. You're not gonna see him fucking breakdancing. Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, because for any real hardcore hip hop fan, that knows the what is it? The core DNA.
The pillars.
Yeah, the DNA behind hip hop is a way of life. It is a culture. It is not it's not a genre of music. It's a way of life. The graffiti, like you said, the break dancing, the the gold chains, the big gold ropes, the style.
I mean, that's not.
I meant so more like back in the day kind of thing, like Slick Rick with the eye patch and his big gold ropes and stuff like that. But yeah, no, I agree with Epic as well. Like country music isn't really country music anymore, but that goes for just pretty much every other genre as well. It's like
he said there's very few actual country music artists. I don't listen to enough country to say whether there are or not. But I'm sure just like hip hop, you can find real hip hop.
Yeah.
And you can find real country music. There's the one that I brought up. What is it? Coulter.
You're talking about that young man that's like 28 years old.
Yeah. Coulter Wall. I can't remember his name though. But anyway, yeah, that's the style of like his is more. It's like folk country kind of mixed together. This is it's gonna get kind of into a subject that I don't want to get into.
That's okay if you don't want to. It's no big deal. I just
because there's a Hollywood thing where all cowboys were like they for lack of a better word, they whitewash the fuck out of what a cowboy is.
Yeah, no, and I think that's fair. I think that's really fair. Actually.
When cowboys, first of all, the word cowboy was a derogatory word back in the day. Since we're in Black History Month, let's do a little bit of Black History.
I'm liking this. Here, let's get your asses educated, lab rats. Let's go, Jared.
So that was a derogatory term toward people who were cowboys, and at that time, that was the only work available for certain people. At first, it started in Mexico. They were like rustling cattle and doing the whole that's all where that came from. And then again, because it was a lower tier job to rustle cattle and take care of the horses and the cows and shit, mostly it was black people doing that. And then it became this thing when Hollywood came around. It was like, oh, well, we got to settle the West, and all that shit came out. Like, oh, well, get on cowboys, and it just became this. Again, the word is whitewashed.
Yeah,
Hollywood took it over. John Wayne, I love Clint Eastwood, but Clint Eastwood, and it was just a long time that everybody, and then country music comes out of that. It comes from even farther back than that, because matter of fact, the banjo was from a instrument. I forgot the name of the instrument, but an instrument that came over from Africa that became this thing, and that's what it started from. That banjo or that instrument turned into the banjo, which was the music surrounding that was the roots of country music, and then
kind of synonymous with it. Everything. Do you know what's funny is I don't want to say this in a bad way. As hillbilly as a banjo sounds, banjos can make some pretty badass music, dude. So I am all for a good sounding banjo. All right, who doesn't like a good banjo?
Yeah, Taylor Swift I think she was country in the beginning.
You know what's crazy? I haven't followed her music enough, or even her career.
Neither have I, but she did start. I remember she had a lot of country songs. That's why I think she's so big now, mostly. But then the other thing that got her big was her masters or catalog got sold. So, and I forgot who told her to do this, but someone was like, "Well, since it's sold, and what you can do is re-record it basically as covers, and then re-release it."
Oh man!
And so when she did that, that is when a lot of the younger. That's why she has such a young fan base now, because she re-released that music. It was like this whole new generation that heard all that music from before all of a sudden. So now it's like, oh shit, boom! Then she just fucking blows up.
I heard obviously while football was on, I heard a football analysis or sports analysis, I should say. I can't remember who it was, but basically saying that Taylor Swift is on
Drugs?
Well, no. I mean, if she is, whatever. She's rich,
I'm joking,
whatever.
I'm joking.
Um,
I don't want any Swifties coming after me talking about
But
she's not on drugs.
her level of popularity is almost equivalent to Michael Jackson's.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, I'd say.
And
I there's no denying that. That's obvious.
and I thought about it for a second, and I agree with you.
And
Okay.
Whitney is. I mean, not Whitney. And
Beyonce,
Beyonce is probably close to Prince.
I would think that'd be a very fair comparison as well. But it's crazy. We're actually like living in a time where we're seeing, some of the people, because I'm a huge Michael Jackson fan, all nonsense aside, that we're seeing.
Always got to put that asterisk next to it, don't we?
Oh, yes. I mean, and that's a shame too, honestly.
Yeah.
But we're seeing the next generation become big and even pop even more potentially bigger than the things that we grew up with, maybe just because of the way
It's the internet.
the internet age and all that stuff. So it is pretty wild to think about that there's somebody out there who has a popularity level that could potentially encapsulate Michael Jackson.
The other thing with that, though, is, there's more avenues for people who would not otherwise get seen to be able to get seen because of the internet.
Yeah.
But then there's also people who probably deserve to get seen that don't get seen because everybody's pushing their eggs into whatever the one basket. Well, they could be more talented than who the most popular people are now, just because a lot of times fame comes from just as soon as you get one little piece of eye on you, as long as you know how to ride that wave, you can stay on it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah, the lightning bolt.
There's a lot of comedians that end up like they struck that lightning of it's doing like 2 or 3 skits every day. I'm not naming names, but doing 2 or 3 skits every day, putting those out, and then those just become, some of them become viral, and then they build their audience that way, and then they start doing stand up. So now you're, instead of going the other way, the way that it used to be, now these cats are building audiences before they even have the skill of
be on stage.
To be good on stage. You can be on stage, but to be good is a different thing.
Yeah. I 100% agree with that. I know, and just judging from your post I saw earlier in the week, it seems that you had a really, really successful show this past Tuesday for your stand-up open mic comedy night down at Shooters.
Did we?
Yeah, I just from the post, I mean, it looked like you had a great time. It looked like
it was fun.
But it just all your posts are very positive, and I'm not saying and that I wasn't getting at that, but this one in particular just seemed like you guys maybe struck really good gold this past week, and I was just trying to elaborate, I guess, with you, and because it seemed like there was maybe a bigger turnout in crowd, maybe more comics showed up.
It was the same amount of comics. No, it was the crowd was good. And because, I even said that night, I don't think what people realize, I get it that we're at a bar and you're probably not there for comedy, or you're just there because you had a shitty day at work and you want to get drunk, but that's the perfect time to fucking be at a comedy thing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you had a bad day here.
Yeah,
Laugh
a bad
a little.
day. Have some fucking laughs. Fucking whatever happened at work today doesn't fucking matter.
Yeah.
But as long as everybody else feels good, like that helps the performers as well to do better, to want to do better. You know, if I walk in there and there's 2 people and most of them are comics, I'm just gonna fucking phone it in. You know what I'm saying? But if I know these people are here, they may not be here for this, but we're gonna make sure they have a good time regardless.
Well, yeah, of course, and that's like the important part of understanding your surroundings and knowing your audience as well. Just no matter what you're doing with whatever craft, because I would probably do the same thing the same way.
It was hard to know the audience. Like you have to read it. That's different than.
Well, I guess I meant more so that like if you, just like you were saying, you walk in and a vast majority of the people sitting there, if it's only a handful or the comics that you do it with, it's like, you know what, I know these guys, but when you go in and you see somebody you might have the opportunity to really impress, then you obviously approach it differently.
Yeah, I had a buddy from high school came out. He was like, "Yeah, I came here. I guess he was going to another spot, and he was like, "Yeah, I came. I've been seeing the posts on social media, and I came out to check it out." And I was like, "I appreciate it." Yeah, That's why I was just. I'm not gonna say what I want to say. It was frustrating what transpired recently.
Okay.
But at the same time, we're also working on trying to get another spot.
I got you.
In place of those spots.
I got you. Well, I mean, the laughs are going to keep flowing regardless. Doesn't matter
Oh,
if you're
yeah.
standing out on the corner, standing in your mom's house, your mom's basement doing podcasts.
I know this shit is a grind. I'm trying to fucking figure out how to build an audience. Like I can't come up with skits every day. That's just not my style. I need to just be on stage working on my material and just get good. So then when I happen to be somewhere, somebody does catch it, then it's like, okay, you were fucking blah blah blah. Like, and I don't think I've ever. There may have been a couple of times, like maybe in the beginning, where it was like, I don't know. I've never not gotten dap coming off stage. If that makes sense.
Yeah, no, I mean, dude, that's a good feeling. I mean, dude, that's got to be a level of one. It's got to be this huge dopamine rush for you. Maybe
at first it was. It's not as strong. I mean, it's still there, but.
Well, I think what it is like your dopamine level has leveled out with the one dap. Now you need that hit
Yeah,
for like the 100 daps
Yeah.
walking out the door.
Yeah, exactly.
So no, but I mean, put it this way: slow progress is always better than no progress.
Yeah, and I'm trying to. I agree with that. I'm trying to balance that, as well, because I know. Yes. But I know I always feel like there's not enough progress. You know what I'm saying? I started late, so that's why I feel like I kind of have to rush because I only have. I'm not saying I'm gonna die in 10 years, but
Well,
by
you
the
better
time
not.
I'm
I'm going to
fucking-
wake your ass up if you do.
by the time I'm 10 years in the game, I'll be what 40 or 51, 52.
All right, that might even make it better for you, dude. Might make
Well,
it
usually
easier.
a lot of the top ones are right now are in their 50s, but they also started in their 20s.
Yeah,
You
that's
know what
true.
I'm saying? So
But I think if anything benefits you, Jared, and just your comedic buddies as a whole, and shout out to those guys who always are super wonderful when they come over, is that we live in such a different time. We were just talking about a little earlier, like some of these kids nowadays, they get popular off these skits, and then now I'm on stage, dude. The reverse might happen for you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
I'm trying. That's what I'm trying to do both at the same time. To be honest.
So it's always good, and I know I am very guilty of this. Is just trying to remain positive when things don't really seem to be going in what you think is your favor.
Yeah, and I think we all struggle through that throughout life. I think it gets easier to handle it
Yeah,
because I know there was a time, I was probably like 20, almost 30. I was like, man, I didn't get any of the stuff that I was hoping as a teen that I would be at. You know what I'm saying?
you put the
These
idea in your head.
these expectations, and the world that also puts these expectations in your brain too. So,
like going to college or getting.
I wish I had never done that.
No, but you're right.
That was a mistake.
So, but it's funny you were talking about these hefty expectations because when I was. All by, let me be a rapper aside, when I was in high school and all that other stuff.
Could have kept doing it,
I could have. You're right. But the expectations from everyday life, even from my own mother, it's like, hey, you like doing this, but you're going to have to find some sort of career.
Well, it usually comes from the parents because that's why I think I've told the story before. Like, I remember the time when I kind of, as a kid, I've always wanted to be a stand-up comic. Because I remember, I think I said it before, I was in the den watching TV, and it was the Muppets on, and Fozzie Bear.
Yeah, hell yeah, dude.
He was a stand-up comedian. He was a bad stand-up comedian, but I remember one time mimicking him, and I told my mom I wanted to be. She was like, "Why are you doing that?" Blah, blah, blah. Of course, this is different times, you know what I'm saying? Like, everybody's got to go to college at this time, and she said, you ain't doing that. You're going to get a job and fucking go to college and get a job and all this other shit.
You're going to wear one uniform with your name tag on it
Yeah.
and pull the lever for the press to come down.
Yeah,
And next, the
everybody
license.
trying to do that shit, man.
No, especially in this day and age. And it's really kind of started to hit me more so.
I mean, it's cool. It's cool for some people. Just that was never my style. And then I know I keep cutting you off. My bad.
You're good, brother. No
I'm
worries.
I'm thinking as we're going along and memories are coming up. But and then I remember I was in drama also, and I really fucking enjoyed drama. Like coming up with skits like that we had to do for like in front of the whole middle school fucking class, and just like there was some shit we did where we were fucking around with the lights and hey, let's do some Star Trek shit. That's how you know how long I've been into Star Trek.
Yeah.
But let's do some Star Trek shit, and I was fucking around with the lights to make a fucking tractor beam and also not a tractor beam, a transporter and all.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I wasn't doing that well in my classes, but I was never like the greatest student because I was always ADD and fucking I'm here there, so my grades weren't always the greatest. So to get me to on the straight and narrow, my mom took me out of fucking drama. I was just about to be in a fucking play too.
Yeah, and you know what, man? In all seriousness, and don't take this wrong way, I'm sorry that happened, dude. I really am because
it really discouraged the fuck out of me.
Because I'll tell you, as a child, I have been through similar situations with my parents to where it kind of just puts your whole mind. It completely blows you for the most part, and it's just like, you know what? As you get older, you might understand what your parents' thought process was at the time.
Yeah,
but you got to remember that the world in the last 40 years, man, probably, or even longer than that, has changed so much. And the last thing, if I am, fortunate enough to ever be a parent, put it this way, if my kid wants to fucking...
Oh, no, my kids would definitely do what you want to do. As long as you get your schoolwork done. I'm not, and even if you, because I didn't see that, and that's the thing. I think that was seen because it was an art, and people have always shitted on arts. Because it was seen as an art, that was considered extracurricular.
Yeah.
When you don't know, that could have been the genius thing that I was, like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That could have been the genius thing that I know how to do. And because there's not just on stage acting, there's behind the scenes, there's fucking producing and directing and all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? I still remember fucking upstage, downstage, never turn your back to the fucking audience.
Yeah,
all that shit. You know what I'm saying?
So since we're on the subject of drama, one of my favorite memories as a kid was in the first grade. So we had the school play, okay, and it consisted of all the first grade classes. And as funny as it sounds, I can't remember what the play was. I think it's like The Cow That Jumped Over the Moon or something like that. Something very simple, very childlike. But you had a whole week, and they gave you a handful of lines to read, maybe 2 sentences, just because we were first graders. And I was practicing all week. I was reading it. I thought I was going to be, at the time I'm watching, Arnold movies with my dad and all this stuff. And so I remember when we go up on stage, we're in the cafeteria for the play, everybody's parents are out there and stuff. And I go up and I say my line, dude. And obviously, I think this is where your anxiety comes in as a young person, because I think that's my first sense of feeling it. And but I went up there, I said my lines, and I felt like such a fucking badass, dude. And I know my mom and dad were like really, really proud of me.
Well, hey, guess what? That's what it feels like when you go on stage when you're doing stand-up.
Oh, I believe you. I believe you. And I just think stuff like that is very, very good for a young person, whether they're overly creative or not. Someone roasted me already.
Epic said, "This is a poop story, isn't it?"
No, this is not a poop story. No, that actually did happen the same year. But no, it is not a poop story, unfortunately. But
I didn't say. Did I say what up, Londa?
Londa's here. What's up, dude? Yeah. And then I think the next time that I got on stage to do performing, and I've told this story before, is when I was taking peer mediation in high school.
Yeah.
And stuff. So, but I'm sorry that you felt discouraged, by, your parents. I think we all feel that at some point in time.
Now that I think about it, see, again, we're unlocking memories that I forgot about. There's been plenty of times that I was pretty much forced on stage as a kid. I remember, I don't remember if it was right after my grandfather died or what, but I was an acolyte.
Yeah.
We have the little robes.
Yeah,
and we go light the fucking candles and then put them out at the end of the service. So one time I had to leave my post because I had to go give a speech, and I forgot what the speech was about. I don't remember what it was, but I had to go up in front of the entire congregation, and fucking say this thing that I think me and my grandmother had worked on and wrote down on some index cards. And man, there's some wild shit that I'm remembering this.
I'm liking it. Core memories. Let's go.
But I remember before I went up, I was fucking terrified.
Yeah.
And I fucking was crying in the back, bro. Like bawling my eyes out. And then I don't know, somebody said something for some reason, I just fucking wiped the shit off and I just fucking went up there and read the shit. And then I got off, and I don't know if they clapped or whatever, but I was like, oh, okay. You know what I'm saying? But it was just, that was the one time that I had stage fright. But I guess that's why I could do drama, because after that, it was easy to just get in front of people. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no.
And then because I lost it, because I hadn't done it for so long, the first time, that's why it took me so long to actually do stand-up. But then there's with stand-up, there's an added, the added thing is like, oh, if I don't make these people laugh, I'm either going to get booed off or I'm just going to be standing there talking to myself, basically.
Yeah.
And
I think that's actually worse than getting booed. Would you think so?
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
The bombing, when there's silence, bro, you can hear fucking pins drop in the back.
Yeah.
Nah.
I think I would rather get booed.
Somebody
honestly.
drops a spoon or their fork while they're eating and shit. That's the fucking worst.
Your shit's so bad, I can't finish my meal.
Like, right after your punchline, a fucking fork just falls. It's like, oh, damn, that was horrible.
Yeah, no. So, no, but that is good. Like the good old wrestling adage, any reaction is a good reaction. Regardless of what it may be.
I knew you were here, man. We were talking about something when I saw your name, so I didn't want to really interrupt the conversation. He was saying, thanks for noticing after 20 minutes.
Yeah, no, it's all right, man. Don't worry. We put it this way: we're adults and we don't notice things that are right in front of us sometimes. So
why are you apologizing to him? I was just apologizing to him, not you. What the fuck?
What? I mean, I'm just we're collective. We're a group. We are the Mad Scientist Lab.
All right.
Nah, I'm just saying. Yeah. But you were talking about unlocking core memories and all this shit just randomly as your brain was.
Yeah, I don't know how far we want to go. I don't want to unlock too many.
Yeah, no, but
might be some bad ones in there.
No, it's crazy. You'd be surprised. So, do you know what I did today, Jared? I had a self-care day. That's what I did today. I went and I got. Yeah, it's in this day and age, you can't be happy.
I'm saying that jokingly.
I know.
I believe in self-care.
So I got up today. I have definitely been putting my hair cut off and me cleaning my beard up for like the last 2 weeks.
I told you, bro.
Yeah.
We talked about this before. Like, when you get a cut, you feel better about yourself. You don't feel like a fucking low life.
Yeah, no, and I didn't feel like one before, but do you know what I did afterwards? And I used to do it maybe once a month or once every month and a half.
You got a happy ending.
Yeah, I went for a massage. So not a happy ending. She's a nice lady, but I'm not doing all that to her.
I thought you were going to say he's a nice man.
Nah, I mean, anyway. So I went and I got a massage today for the first time in probably 5 to 6 months, dude. Mm-hmm. And so I go in, I'm like, all right, I got my hair cut. My head feels 10 pounds lighter. And Jared is right, folks. Looking nice will make you feel good about yourself. But my shoulders, my back, everything's been just kind of all tense and bothering me, even with me stretching and shit in the morning. So I was like, all right, let me go treat myself.
That's stress and anxiety you're holding in. That's
yeah. Well, yeah, I understand that. I know my body and I know how I react to certain things.
Exercise.
And so I go in, ladies doing the massage, and I didn't realize, dude, no bullshit, how much I needed that shit. How much tension is built up into your back and your shoulders, and because
that's yours.
Yeah, mine. That's correct.
As I stretch,
I felt such a wave of relief because this woman literally took her nail, right, dude? Like literally her nail, like a little bit of a nail, and she dug it to like where my sciatica is and like my lower back, like just literally tapping it. And dude, I felt like I was gonna roll off the goddamn table and through a wall because that's how sensitive and how just
much
how
of a bitch. What?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Oh yeah. Look at my sand in my vagina. But
you said it, not me.
So do you know what I had her do to me? I had her cut me today. I had her cut me. Do you know what cupping is, Jared?
Is it anything like teabagging?
It is not teabagging. If anybody knows anything about teabagging,
I know what cupping is, man.
So
you got to remember, I've been doing martial arts for fucking 20 plus years.
Yeah, so a lot of athletes and we'll use it no matter the sport. And so I had her do it. She said, "Hey, would you like me to do this?" And I said, "Hey, why not?" And you can't see it right now, folks, but my back is pretty purple. And I just felt 150 pounds lighter after this lady was done just working her magic fingernails and all this stuff on my back.
I agree.
But my whole point was, is you were talking about, you were just unlocking these core memories. When you have so much tension built up in you, and you finally get that massive release that you've been just,
Londa called it.
Yeah, that massive release that you've been looking for. It's emotional, man.
He called it like shit.
What,
He's like, this sounds like a too detailed orgasm story.
I didn't go there.
The massive release.
Yeah, no, but I just put it by this way. By the time the lady was finished, she said, "You enjoy the rest of your afternoon, dude." I was lying there like a fucking noodle, dude. I didn't want to get up. I did not want to move because I felt 100 pounds lighter, and I was like, "Damn, dude!" It really occurred to me. It's like, fuck, because for a good portion, I've been eating better. I've been, not doing this stuff, and I feel good. And at the same time, when I went and did this today, I felt even better. It's like, oh, fuck, am I carrying all that around in my body all the time, dude?
Yes, you are, 100%.
And it was just so wild, and she was such a nice lady, older lady.
Obviously.
But I basically told her, I was like, I would marry you, and then I paid her, and then I left. And I'm going to go find her again at some point in time.
And she said,
"Motherfucker." She was nice enough to say that, yes. But that was just kind of like my point, is that I had a day for the first time in personally a while where I just said, fuck it, I'm taking care of myself today. I'm not worried about anything else. And I felt good. And when I got home, which was earlier this afternoon, I laid on my couch, dude, and I felt like I was just floating on a pillow, dude. And it just felt really, really good. It just felt really, really good. And that's kind of my point. I just felt like I could cry. All right.
thank you for that beautiful rendition of how you busted a nut to an old lady.
I mean, they were. I mean, why do you think they're good at it? But it's okay. It's all right. I'm not going to elaborate any further with that. So I don't know how we get away with this sometimes. I don't know how I get away with this sometimes. You know what the funny thing is I really think I do, but I don't. Because somebody in the back of their mind's probably like, this motherfucker right here. So what, if we want to dip into the entertainment beaker a little bit, do you know what
It's the entertainment beaker.
Because it's a container of entertainment. There we go. See, I didn't do that long, drawn-out pause that you hate so much.
Thank you.
Do you know what I finished watching this past week? It is not What If, unfortunately. I am currently watching What
How
If.
dare you?
Yeah, I am. We will talk about it once I'm finished with it because I don't want to give any of my feelings or emotions away. But
Okay.
what I did watch.
By the time you finish it, I won't remember what even
that
happened.
that is how this cycle works on this podcast.
I'm going to have to rewatch it to catch up with your ass. That's crazy. That's fucking insane.
So I finished watching the newest season of True Detective with Jodie Foster.
No, Epic.
And I'm going to tell you, as somebody who is a pretty big True Detective fan, especially the first and third seasons. Second one, I was really, really looking forward to this. I really, really was. And I'm going to be upfront with you. It was okay.
Yes, Epic.
I did not like it nearly as much as I wanted to.
No, I mean, I get it. I tell you right now, I have not heard a fucking big brouhaha about it. To be honest, I haven't heard anything since the first one.
Yeah.
Maybe the second one was Woody Harrelson, or was that the first one?
That's the first one.
Okay, so yeah, I haven't heard anything since that. So I'm not that interested in True Detective.
And it stinks because you're right, because I consider the first season some of the best television, period.
Yeah, I agree.
Period. And so I think just following that, and when you have Matthew McConaughey and Woody Harrelson, I mean, can you think of, you really can't get any better than that when it comes to
that's arguable.
It's arguable, but they did such an excellent job.
For that, yes.
Yes, which I think is why it works so well. And
It's like saying fucking Arnold Schwarzenegger and Danny DeVito aren't the best comedic pair of all time.
You know, that is actually really
Yeah,
good. I mean,
exactly.
that's damn, that is highly debatable.
Yeah.
But so this one takes place in Alaska. It's like, but this one's only 6 or 7 episodes, and it follows this science lab that's built in Alaska.
Don't give it away.
Well, I'm not. This is just the premise of the show. I'm not giving anything away, I promise. Basically, there's a murder that happens in a science lab, and Jodie Foster and her partner have to figure it out. And you go through the motions and with all the character development. The reason I don't think I like this one as much, and this is just my opinion, I would encourage you to check it out. It's not a bad show. I just don't think it's True Detective.
Get to it.
Is that it had such an ending to where it was so open for interpretation that I hated it. And
Maybe that's what they were going for.
which is fine, but I think like how we were talking about Christopher Nolan's films last week, how when I watch his movies, I judge him by his movies and nothing else.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of how I looked at True Detective because I'm such a fan of the first one, and I'm a huge fan of the third season. So I was judging it based off of those two, and I think that's what really kind of made me not like it as much. It's not bad, but put it this way, if it was called something else, I think it'd be great. But True Detective is not,
Makes sense.
in my opinion. So that's what I was watching this week, and I liked it. And I started What If, and we're gonna talk about it next Saturday because I'm gonna be done with it.
Okay, because
All
I mean, it's not like there's a lot. They're not long, so
Well, I know.
should have been done by now, but whatever. So Epic said Halo was back.
So-
I'm not on it.
So
Not
here,
at all. We'll never watch it. Trash.
I haven't watched it.
Fucking. I don't even play the game that much, but this motherfucker running around with his helmet under his arm the whole fucking time. Fuck off. That's not fucking.
No, well, him taking his helmet off is so anti-Halo, I can't believe it.
That's the point. That's
yeah.
what I'm saying.
So Epic here, man. Can you elaborate a little bit on the second season if you've watched?
No,
it?
he just said it's back. He
Oh,
didn't say anything
okay.
crazy.
But
But he also said the Borderlands movie trailer came out. I have a couple. I've never played Borderlands the game, so I don't know any of the characters. But what I have seen is they might have kind of fucked up on some of the casting.
I would 100% agree. And if you're gonna ask anybody, don't even ask me. You need to ask
They-
Epic.
They went 100% for star power. Also, this movie was done like 3 or 4 years ago. It was recorded like because if anybody knows the comedian Bobby Lee, he has and he couldn't talk about it for a while, but I knew he was saying he was because I remember he had a story with him and he couldn't name all the names, but he like one of them he named was Jamie Lee Curtis with how they went to some place wherever they were filming Borderlands, and he made a joke and it was like he realized he wasn't around comedians,
Yeah.
so they looked at him and they all walked away from him. But anyway, so this movie was done like 3 or 4 years ago, and it's just now coming out.
I saw the trailer, and I'm actually glad you brought it up because that was actually something I wanted to touch on. And I would like to say I'm a pretty damn big Borderlands fan, man. I really, really am. I will give it a chance. I'm not keeping my hopes up because, like you said, I like Kevin Hart, man, but when I see him in anything, I don't think I can take it serious anymore. If that makes any sense.
And that's what I've been hearing from other sources also. Plus, this character is supposed to be like some big jack fucking tall guy.
Yeah, he's supposed to. He's
like
supposed to
The
be
Rock almost.
Yeah, he's supposed to be Roland.
But he's supposed to be like people who play the game, who haven't played the game know who.
Yeah,
that is.
yeah, no, and again,
But like you're gonna go from this big jack black dude to this little tiny dude who's like a comic relief for the most part. I don't think that's gonna work. Kate Blanchett, she's still hot, but she's older than what the character in the game is.
yeah,
And most of them are older than what they like. Jamie Lee Curtis, come on, bro.
yeah. Jamie Lee Curtis is probably.
I love her,
70s.
but
yeah.
Can
You pull up at least the movie poster so people
Yeah.
can see it? If for anybody who out there is, and I know this especially applies to Epic, who is a big Borderlands fan. I mean, it's somebody myself. I mean, I've pretty much played all of them besides 1 or 2 of them. Mostly the pre-sequel and Tiny Tina's newer expansion because it's just basically the Borderlands 2 DLC. But the lore, the feel of Borderlands, it is its own universe. And then I saw the trailer, and just like most other people, I was like, hey, this is either going to really just follow, I guess, I hate to say this, canon, and it's going to follow
Canon.
that
was actually a pretty good one.
Yeah, the source material, or it's just going to be something made for $1, and people are gonna. It looks like it's going to be a very forgettable film. Unfortunately,
I wouldn't say that. I think the action is going to be pretty good.
as long as we get some good in-game references, and there's a lot of them,
Well,
I'll be happy
for me.
with
I
that.
wouldn't know what they are and what they aren't because I never played the game, so I couldn't tell you.
If I think anybody who has the hardest role in this whole thing right here, and I mean that to a degree, would be Jack Black, who is going to be the voice of Claptrap.
How is that a hard?
Because Claptrap is your lovable robot. He is like,
Okay, that's Jack Black right there.
yeah, exactly. As long as he can get Claptrap's demeanor down, I'll be happy.
I think he'll be fine.
Yeah, and I have nothing but faith in him because I know he's a very talented guy, even if he can be, a goof or people look at him as a goof. I think he can.
My thing with Bobby Lee being in it, Bobby Lee's a gamer. He streams.
That's probably like a dream come true for him.
Oh yeah, 100%. So we'll see. And you see him in the trailer. It's like a very brief picture of him, like a quick movement of him. But he's in the trailer. I'm a Bobby Lee fan, so like I know a lot of people might not be, but I don't know because he's just eccentric. I've been a fan of him since he was on Mad TV back in the day.
Way back in the day,
Yeah.
Dude, Mad TV, man. Think about it. Mad Magazine, all that stuff. What happened to magazines, man? Well, obviously we have
The internet, bro. We just said it earlier.
Yeah, I know, but man, dude, there was nothing like
These
going
colors are fucked.
There's nothing like going to the grocery store, at least for me, with my mom or my dad, and they're shopping, and it's like, hey, let me go to the magazine aisle because I try to look for the new copy of Game Pro or Game Informer or what was there's another one. Oh, god damn it. As Game, it's bothering the shit out of me. It's Game Pro, Game Informer, and then there was another one. Oh,
Disney.
no. Oh, man. It's bothering the shit out of me. It was a very popular magazine, too.
Oh, that's horrible.
I know. Shit.
I'm not talking
I
about. I'm
was
talking
gonna
about
say.
what I'm talking about.
Regardless, I mean, you could open up a magazine, whether it was a hip-hop like Double XL or Vibe or a gaming magazine.
Yeah, I think we know how magazines work.
Yeah, I just kind of miss that vibe, looking forward to the next big thing, and the only way you can find it is in a magazine. Like, it's like, hey, when's the next game?
That era's over, pal.
I know. I'm just saying I miss it. And I think people need it. I think it's important. I think it's important to wait for things.
Old curmudgeon.
Because I believe if you give everybody what they want all at the same time, all the time, it defeats any sense of achievement or working for something. You just can't give people what they want.
Yes, so he's saying the little girl that's playing Tiny Tina is
Tiny.
gonna have the hardest role.
That's that I could see that being a thing too, because she is also very outlandish, I should say, in terms of character. They all are, but that's Epic's favorite character, if I had to be honest with you. So
I know he's got fucking glowing goat eyes, whatever that means.
because it's amazing. She arguably has the best downloadable content version of any Borderlands DLC, period, and as a character. So no, Epic is kind of on the money with that too. But Claptrap is insanely important.
He'll be there. It's Jack Black, man.
I know.
I used to hate on Jack Black, but he's a savant. Like that motherfucker. He's a musical fucking. I don't want to say genius, but he's very good at it, music.
Yeah,
He's good at comedic acting. And his social media shit's pretty fucking wild too. So.
I was a big fan of School of Rock when I was younger.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
that's a good movie.
It's a great movie. Tenacious D and The Pick of Destiny. Again, not something I would normally watch.
I know you like Nacho Libre.
Yeah. You know what's crazy is I've never actually seen the whole film. As crazy as that sounds.
I'm a wrestling fan, but
I
I've
am a
never
wre-
seen one of the Although he was a white dude playing a Mexican, but whatever.
Yeah, let's go back to whitewashing, folks. Well, that was like that one time I was in Lucky's and somebody just happened to have a luchador mask. I can't remember who the fuck
I
had that.
went to Mexico, but don't worry about it.
fat Faison liar.
Dude, and I put it on. I have to find that photo. I'm going to send it to you. So you can just like pop it in there. But dude, there was somebody somewhere at Lucky's one time and they were just
Don't
like,
worry,
hey, RJ.
guys, he won't.
He was like, hey, RJ, I've got this Lucha Libre mask. I was like, how did you obtain this? And I can't remember half
You
the
can
conversation.
go to fucking Mexico and buy them.
I understand that,
You
but
can buy them online.
I get it, but like it takes a certain mind
No, it
and a
doesn't.
certain person to just say, hey, I need a Lucha Libre mask. That's really all I'm getting at. Can't remember how this person obtained it. I can't even remember who gave it to me. But I will tell you this. I put it on, and I felt like a complete fucking badass, dude. Felt like I give somebody a hurricane runner off the top of a mountain. All right?
Sure, pal.
Hit him with an inzaguri. All right? On the apron. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, the guy who has a fucking 10-pound fucking weights in this goddamn bench over there.
You know, Rey Mysterio, he's not a big guy, but he's one of the greatest wrestlers.
But
of
he's
all-
fucking strong.
I'm strong.
Let's move on. You know what?
He was a fat Faison liar.
I'm not going to grab the pencil and slam it on the television or whatever. Not the television, but the table. Just
Yeah.
because I'm going to spare you this week, Jared. I thought about you a lot.
I'm
this
gonna move it away from you.
week. What about like a child?
Yeah.
I mean, who doesn't like the big Texas Souths pencil?
The pencil's cool, but
That-
slamming it on the table is like that shit goes through. You got to remember, this is all metal. It'll fucking vibrate through all that shit.
I'm doing it for a cheap pop. Cheap pop.
It's not, but it's not happening. There's no pop. Nobody's laughing.
What if they're laughing and we can't hear them?
If it was that funny, they would put it in the chat that it was funny.
This is true, but you don't know that. We don't know that.
This
And-
fucking guy.
So since we do a podcast, Jared, that's what we do here every Saturday night live here on Twitch.
If that's what we call it these days.
Do you-
I feel like this market is so saturated, bro. Like there's no breaking through anymore.
oh my God! So this
I
brings up my
fucking
next-
hate TikTok and fucking podcast clips because I'm like, y'all ain't talking about nothing.
Do you know I'm sick, dude? Oh, Jared, thank you, man. The reason me and Jared don't like one another yet we get along so well, and those are excellent masks, by the way.
Keep going.
Do you know what I realized in the last couple weeks, and I think you have a sound bit that kind of attributes to it. Do you know? I think Shannon Sharp's podcast is really the next big thing.
Well, he's got a few. He's got two podcasts. He's got one with
Ocho Cinco.
Ocho Cinco Nightcap, and then he has Club Shay Shay,
So
and then he does his daytime shit.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't want to say he's the next big thing, like because he's had a couple guests on there. That's like, meh, I could care less.
Well, I will say this. I think just in terms of big name podcasts, obviously you can think of Two Bears, One Cave. You can think of obviously Joe Rogan, and maybe
Well,
a handful
you're,
of.
You're not beating Joe Rogan. That's.
No, I'm not saying he is. I don't think that'll.
I'm
ever,
saying, yeah.
I don't think it'll ever be a thing.
Ain't no fucking way.
Um,
He just got paid $250 million from Spotify, and now he can put it every fucking where. He can, but he's going back to YouTube. He's going back to.
I love
fucking,
it. I'm all
Me
for
too,
it. Yeah,
'cause-
all of it.
Like it was a pain in the ass for me to fucking try to get. I could get it on my phone, and I could set it, do AirPlay, to my TV, but like I don't drive as much anymore, so it's like, I'd rather just because when I do watch my podcast every week, I have Two Bears, One Cave on Mondays, which I'm gonna be honest, Two Bears, One Cave is kind of falling off. I still love Tom, but Bert just be annoying me. Fucking, and then Your Mom's House is my other shit. But then there's Kill Tony that comes on Monday nights. You know I gotta watch that because your boy be out there signing up but not getting on.
Do you
What-
sit there and you're watching like that's fucking me?
Okay, no.
Yeah.
I'll tell you this. I'm pretty sure he don't watch this anyway. But there's a dude who I kind of met through somebody else. First of all, shout out to Chuck Best. I forgot what his fucking Twitch is, but he's been streaming Call of Duty. I can't remember his Twitch name. But anyway, Chuck Best is a comedian. When I was in Orlando, what was that? Almost a year and a half ago now.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
been a little while. Yes.
So when I was down there, he was like, "Yeah, my boy's down there. And, you should check him out." So like, I followed him. He didn't follow me back. This person, I'm not gonna name his name, just because, for reasons.
For playing me, y'all shall ever for remain nameless. All right, sorry.
So when I was down there this last time, what was that? The end of January. When I was down in Austin this last time, I finally like met him in person because he signed up for Kill Tony. And we were like, before you go in, we all wait in this one bar or maybe on the street, depending on. They try to keep everybody together, so when they call your name, you can just fucking go straight.
Yeah,
to
I got
to the club.
Next, that kind of thing.
Nah, it ain't next. It's fucking your name because you got to sign a release and you got to fucking put your stage name and your social, so all that shit. So I hear his name called. I'm like, oh shit, he's going up, and then at the end he's back over there. Usually and I've kind of noticed this. I've only done it twice, but I've kind of noticed this when someone does good, like if they do real good, they're not going back to the bar that everybody else is at.
Yeah.
They're like probably hanging around the club, maybe talking to some other people, or maybe they just go home. I don't know, but that's what I've noticed just by watching. Because you know me, I like trying to figure out patterns and shit.
Yeah.
So he came back, and then he was outside talking to somebody. I was like, "Hey, what's going on?" It was like, "Yeah, you know my buddy Chuck Best," and he was like, "Yeah." He's like, "Oh yeah, I do remember that." Blah, blah, blah. And he was telling me where all the open mics was. I'm like, "Oh shit, this dude's cool. Okay, cool. Let's see what." And then I was like, "So how'd it go?" He was like, he gave me the spiel. I don't want to say exact words.
Yeah, I
'cause-
got you. Integrity.
Yeah. So then they're 3 weeks behind. So I've been waiting 3 weeks to see the show when I was out there, and it's weird because when the first time I went out, it was the next week. So I don't know how they're doing the shit. But anyway, so I watched the shit and I was like, oh my, like the whole show, there was nothing but bad comedians on that show. Like there was like one guy, and I remember seeing that one guy. He was playing cards, and he even said it on stage. He was like, "Yeah, we were over there playing cards," because he said he's a big gambler. And I'm just sitting there waiting, and I'm seeing them playing cards, and I see this guy get called, and I'm like, "Oh shit!" Then I see him on stage. He's the only one that did good out of everybody they called until the last person. And when I finally saw this person's thing, and if you saw their social media and as much as they fucking post and boast, it's like, bruh, you should not be posting and boasting like this. Like, this is crazy. Like, it was bad.
Do you know? It's funny you say that, man, because I think more so we live in a day and age where you can try to attempt to inflate your own ego and create whatever narrative in your head.
But when the truth is out, the truth is out.
Yeah, and you're done. And it's
Well, no,
over.
they're not done.
None. You're right. You're right.
He's not done. I mean, he still can keep working and doing open mics, but I mean, unless you improve, and then on top of that, you get called you open for a big name comedian, and then you go back to their show, and then they remember, and they're like, "Oh wait, you didn't do good."
Yeah. Like, hey, man, my fans were like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
All right,
So that's not a good look, bro.
Nah, not at all.
Yeah, I'm not naming names, but
Well, I will say this. I will always commend anybody.
yeah, exactly. Chuck Bass, not him personally. He was the one. That's who I'm talking about. Oh wait, no, is that his Twitch name? Hold on.
Here, well, Jared pulls that up, but what I'm basically saying is that when you're, put it this way, if you're ever good at anything, you should never have to tell anybody you're good at it.
No, no, and yes, yes. Comedy is a merit-based
I'm not saying don't promote
genre?
yourself.
but yeah, you got to promote yourself. No. It's Funny Man Chuck B. Here, I'll put it in the chat so people can.
And so, while again Jared pulls that up, it's one of those things where you put it this way: if I walk into a bar And I'm like, yeah, I'm a ladies' man. I'm going to get any broad in here. You see all the photos with all the women I take on my, Instagram, X, whatever it is. And then you go into said bar, and they're like, hey, lady.
Everybody's
like, ew.
Yeah, you're being weird. I'm going to have to stop you there.
Yeah.
Everybody, I think Chuck Best Laughs might be his Instagram epic, but I just put in the chat his Twitch, so please go follow him. Give him some love from us whenever he's online. If you see him online, give him some love from the Mad Scientist Lab and tell him to get his ass out here and be on the fucking podcast.
Yeah, here, come on over. Anybody's always welcome over to come on.
You've met Chuck.
I have an idea. I actually have somebody who is possibly coming over next week.
Okay. Well, don't tell me now. Tell me after.
I will tell you after. But I think it's good. But going back to, I guess, the whole Club Shay Shay and Shannon Sharp, and granted, he's obviously been in the news lately with one, obviously the big one being Cat Williams. He had Monique on, which I didn't listen to any of that, I'll be honest with you. But then I saw some clips from his recent interview with Johnny Manziel.
Yeah, I saw some clips. I never was a fan of him. So
No, neither was I. But as I was watching these couple of clips, I was looking at Shannon Sharp, Unk, and I was like, damn, dude, this guy's really really doing it. And is he like this podcast, this one in particular? This is like the next level of like.
Well, here's what I'll give you.
I don't want to say therapy, but like exposure, so to speak, or just.
Here's what I'll say about that. The Cat Williams interview catapulted him to the next level as far as that podcast. I mean, it's not just saying he wasn't doing decent numbers before, but having Cat Williams on there and getting fucking the exposure that got that, it was like, I'm sure motherfuckers was fucking hitting his line like, yo, I want to be next because I got blah, blah, blah coming up.
Yeah.
And I need the fucking exposure. Now, he might be good he's going to be coming from a different angle because he can get athletes, he can get comedians. He's going to get more of a, I don't want to say.
No, I think when you were going to say the word mainstream, I think you might be correct, but they might not be mainstream. I mean, think about it.
Well, yeah, because like Joe Rogan, a lot of those people aren't mainstream.
Yeah,
but because they're on his show, they become mainstream.
I got you.
So I guess I would be. They are kind of mainstream people that he's gotten mostly on that.
And I would think the most relevant person, and this isn't knocking anybody out of the last three interviews, obviously would be Cat Williams. Because, I mean, in all fairness, when was the last time anybody talked about Monique, spoke about Monique, or she was... And I'm not discrediting her by any means, but...
I don't want to talk about her. She's not... I've never been a fan of Monique. I'm gonna be real, and probably not that enough people will even watch this to even fucking care, but never been a fan of her.
Same.
I'll be honest. I never saw the whole movie, but just the clips that I saw from Precious, I feel like that's the type of person she is in real life. That's why she was good in it, because that's who she is. That's just me talking.
They say art imitates life, and you could be 100% correct with that, dude.
That shit came from somewhere.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No.
What I'm saying?
And funny you say that. When you look at any lead actor or any film or any television show, and you see, or even musically, I should say, or comedy-wise, entertainment, we'll say, and when you get something that is so it makes other people relate that much better. And when I say that, I'm not saying like go out and be an absolute super piece of shit to anybody, but when you're trying to be authentic in whatever craft you're doing, like right, is you're going to have to be true to yourself, but sometimes people are probably going to bend their narrative a little bit to fit into the mold, if that makes any sense.
Maybe. I don't know. I don't know if I understand what you're saying.
I just think somebody so you're basically you just said Monique was pretty much playing herself, right? Like she doesn't have to do any acting.
Yeah, that came from somewhere. You can see it even in that Shannon Sharp interview. You could see that the victim / narcissist mentality coming through. Like, oh my God, like I'm doing this, but I still deserve this type. You know, it's like, yeah, maybe you don't.
No,
I don't even know where this is going, to be honest.
It's all right. It's all right. It's the basis of this whole conversation that we've had for the last 20 minutes is that we initially started saying, and you said it too.
I don't explain it. Just fucking tell me.
The podcast game is so big right now, and everybody, and we talked about it last week.
No,
too.
it's not big. It's fucking oversaturated. It's like we pretty much missed the ball. To be honest,
I think we were doing it before it was cool to bounce the ball.
No, I agree.
Yeah.
And I had done a podcast before. I was doing that MMA podcast even before. That was like, what, 2010 when I was doing that shit?
Yeah.
So, like, the Joe Rogan podcast had been around by then, but it wasn't nobody. And that's why, like, when we first started this, I was like, we got to do video off break because that's going to be the next shit. Like, and now everybody's got fucking video. Because, I mean, the shit's, again, I was talking about this last week. The barrier to entry is nothing now. Cameras don't cost shit. Fucking mics don't cost shit. All you need is a computer, a mixing board, and you're in there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I still think that it takes a level of, obviously, technical knowledge to put the shit together. And some type of imagination, because again, I don't think just anybody could do what we have in here.
No, not at all.
But I see. But what happens is, and I bro, there's been so many people who are like, yeah, I've been doing my podcast, and then they'll tell me that the production, because they got to pay the people who do the shit.
They pay somebody to do this? No.
Exactly.
No.
That's my point. It was like, oh, you're paying? Like, it's not worth it, especially when you're first starting out and you have no audience. You're wasting your money.
Yeah,
like, why the fuck am I going to pay for a fucking podcast place and fucking, like, that's crazy.
Yeah. No.
I would have kept, even if we didn't have this space, I don't mean to cut you off.
No.
If we didn't have this space, I would still do it at my house. You know what I'm saying? And I would figure out how to make it work there.
I mean,
like,
we did initially. We did with that. You know what, man? I'm never getting rid of that little TV stand.
That's fucking a piece of history.
Yeah, it's a piece of history. I'm never getting rid of that. No, but with the and I do agree with you with the put it this way, as somebody before you approached me years ago and we're like, hey, you want to do a podcast with me? I didn't listen to podcasts. I knew about podcasts.
I know. I brought you on. I brought you on to that shit.
Yeah, you introduced me to it, and
I know so many motherfuckers that hated Joe Rogan before, and I was like, no, just listen to it, man. It's like some eye-opening shit, and I was just
I think with any podcast, depending on what it is, just have an open mind, man.
There's a lot of nonsense going around, man.
There is, and do you know? And I'm glad you brought that up. Is because when you brought this to my attention, and you were like, "Hey, RJ, do you want to do this?" I was like, "The fuck?" I was like, "Well, I've never really thought about it, but it sounds like a pretty cool idea." And we started literally from sitting on your couch in your basement with your little fridge and all that stuff to what we're doing now.
You fucking missed the fridge, this guy.
I do. You know what? Next week you're coming down here. There's going to be a fridge right here. I'm buying one right now. Here, Jared, pull up mini fridges on the internet.
No, I
us.
have one at my mom's house.
All right, well, we don't.
You know what? When it's time to move all this shit, like, it's going to be a pain in the ass. What if I decide I want to go to Austin, like, in a month? What the fuck?
Don't worry, man. I'll help you. Don't worry, man.
This shit got to be taken apart.
Don't worry, we got it. No, but you're right. I actually think about that shit too, because I think about my family, because my mom and sister are kind of in the mind frame of like, hey, we don't kind of want to live here anymore and all this other shit. Yeah. So I think about that shit too. It's like, well, I've moved I know you've moved more than me in your life because you've been all over the world. But moving
Not
is
all over, but enough over.
More so than me. So when comparing me to you, you've been all over the world. Okay. So moving is a pain in the ass for anybody that's done it. And so I think about my room because I have obviously just my handful of things. And then I was like, oh, what else I got to move? And then I think about all this shit down here. And the one thing, I'm not worried about these mics. I'm not worried about this fucking table right here.
Well, that's the first thing I always think about.
Yeah, I'm worried about the table because it's a I'm gonna tell you, man. If you were a furniture guy, dude, I'd buy from you because this is a nice table.
Well,
dude.
the thing is,
You got this for a great value too.
yeah, I mean, I could probably, like, if I did move somewhere, I could probably get another one. It wasn't expensive as people think, and I might want to upgrade to a different one at the same time. This is not exactly what I wanted. I got this just because it's a decent price. It worked for what we needed it because we kind of needed an L shape, and I don't know. It's fine. It's whatever. I mean, shit, this could be your desk at whatever. I don't
Yeah,
know.
no.
But anyway,
But with the market being oversaturated, man, with podcasts,
keep doing that shit.
what do you think, if not even for us, but just as a whole, what do you think that one thing that will push that next person up to that next stratosphere?
Well,
Since we're all kind of swimming.
I'm not worried about other people, like, because I don't give a fuck about them. For us, we need to be able to make clips out of shit. So, like, that's why I kind of want to hone things down, like, segment by segment, so then it's not so hard for somebody to, if we were able to afford somebody to go clip stuff and put subtitles and then put that, because then all that needs to be in the right format to go on social media and all this other shit. Clips is the next thing, but that's the issue. I don't want to say the next thing. It's already a thing. But that's why I was like, I've been on TikTok a lot lately, and it's just like I see podcasts and I just see people talking about random shit, and it's just like,
People talk about a bunch of fucking garbage, dude.
I know, but then it makes me wonder, are we talking about garbage? You know what I'm saying? So, like, if we clip some shit together and then put it on, is it garbage? Or are they just taking whatever some AI shit, which I've tried a couple times, they're just taking whatever some AI shit says and putting it up and seeing how it does. And for some reason, the dumbest fucking shit is getting, like, thousands of hits, tens of thousands of hits, or likes, I should say. And it's just like, it's mind-boggling to me. Maybe they're putting out a whole bunch of clips. I don't know, but I know when we put out clips, it doesn't move.
Yeah.
So I maybe it's not a consistent thing enough. But again, I don't have time to fucking do this, plus do that, plus write jokes, plus my fucking actual job. Nor do I want to fucking create clips all the fucking time. Like, it's a pain in the ass. You know.
Well, creating content in any capacity takes time, effort, creativity.
Yeah.
Which,
unless I like the Joe Biden shit I did on my TikTok, Jared Lee Comedy. By the way.
check it out, folks.
That clip, I just, one day I was drinking the night before and I woke up and I was just happened to be scrolling through TikTok and I was like, oh, this is interesting. And so that's where that came from. It was just a spark of, like, you know what? I got the tripod here. Just set my phone up. I got the green screen set up. Turn the light on. Fucking just do some responses, edit that shit together.
Yeah.
That's exactly what that was.
Yeah, right place, right time.
Bro, I did it, the whole thing, in probably maybe an hour. The first one. The second one, this motherfucker fucked up again and said some wild shit again. So I did it. I was like, oh, part 2. So that's all that was. But now I haven't seen anything worthwhile of I've seen a couple things, but it's like, eh.
Do you know what people go for? At least from the shit that I've seen and some of these numerous clips, whether it's on Facebook or TikTok, or they're just kind of integrated into one. Do you know what people talk about? They try to talk about things that really, at the end of the day, are irrelevant, and they do it for shock value.
No, I agree with that. I see a lot of that.
And I think the big one, and I hate to really go here with this, but when it comes to relationships, like the opposite sex, or
There's a lot of that.
there is a lot of garbage out there.
Yeah,
that
it'd be
people
like, I see a lot of, oh my God.
yeah, it's bad. It's bad. You're right.
Epic,
You're right.
thank you for the 10 gifted, brother.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you.
I see a lot of, and it's weird. I don't know. I swear, TikTok is very weird because I get a lot of, how did it, kind of out myself a little bit, but
That's hard, dude.
how do you, how to know if a girl, 3 ways to know if a girl likes you.
Yeah, there you
That
go.
type of shit.
All
I've been getting that lately, and then, and it could be it's on For You, but then I'll get some random like podcasts of like, it's always the women ain't shit or men ain't shit, depending
Yeah.
on if it's a cast full of women. I need a man that fucking makes 6 figures and this, that, and other thing. Or it's the opposite. It's like, I need a chick, I need to ask her what she brings to the table. It's like, how about both of you motherfuckers suck? And that's why you're doing separate podcasts instead of talking to each other in real life and fucking discussing some
I
shit.
want to tell you something, and this is the only time, and you, right hand to God, you're going to hear me say this on this show.
Tell the folks.
Yeah, and I'm going to tell this to the folks, dude. If you have a problem with your significant other, man, woman,
Wait,
whatever.
what?
No, hold on. Hear me out.
Okay.
Dude, just talk to that person. There's no reason to fucking go out there and go on a tangent about it.
Oh, yeah. Don't talk to their friends.
Yeah, don't do any of that. You got a problem with somebody, again.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I'm just that's his experience. Oh, I'm gonna talk to him.
I-
I'm gonna talk to his friends because I'm having a problem with him.
Yeah, no.
What the fuck
and
is
you're
wrong
right.
with you?
And I think we can all be guilty of it to an extent. But as we are adults, if you have a problem with somebody, just have an adult conversation, even if it's uncomfortable.
Yeah, you're being too serious now. Go back to what we were talking about.
So we see all these podcasts or clips and snippets of, like you said, either.
I'm
it's
glad
a
we
bunch
brought
of-
this up because I think about this shit as I'm looking at this stuff. Sorry to cut you off again. As I'm watching this stuff, I'm like, the fuck is this? Like they just allow people to put whatever the fuck, and I get it. It's the internet. It's free. Say what you want. I love freedom of speech. But some of y'all got to actually think about the content that you're putting out instead of just trying to put content out. It's just crazy the shit that gets mad likes and the shit that doesn't.
Do you know why? Because people try to. I think years ago. So I know a girl.
I know a girl.
She is the sweetest woman in the world. And she deserves all the right things in life. However, she has always been kind of sucked into this void of, the whole bad boy thing.
Yeah.
Right?
All right.
Yeah. you
Hold your thought real quick. So, Epic, TikTok shop. If you see it sponsored and you see a fucking item, I just fucking swipe away. I don't need that shit in my life. And then Londa said podcasts mainly get used for venting too. And then, those types of podcasts. Well, yeah. So here's my question to you. Are we that type of podcast? Or are we something that's like actually, and you might be kind of biased because you're here on a regular basis, but are we worth actually being a podcast, if that makes sense?
Jared asking the difficult questions because, like we just said, asking questions is hard as an adult. Please,
No,
be.
Epic, again, I get that. People do need to vent, and that's fine. But that's what therapists are for. It's not for you to just get on the mic and say, hey, blah, blah, blah. Like, I don't know, man.
Put it this way: I'm tired of scrolling through anything, and I'm sick of seeing.
I think we all are, but
Yeah.
but you're stuck. You have no choice. You're just like, oh, well, maybe there will be something better next. Maybe there'll be something better next. And there's never anything better.
No, it's not. It's like, oh well, yeah, I've slept with like 350 dudes. It's like, ew,
But that's not a red flag, is it?
Yeah.
Bitch, yes.
Yeah, I mean that's and let's be honest, dude. If you ever decide to settle down with somebody, they're gonna have some sort of past.
Yeah, we know that.
Yeah,
You're being too logical now.
Yeah. Okay. My point is that a lot of the things that are getting the massive amount of likes and all the attention,
It's the wild shit.
yeah, is the things that are outlandish, that don't really make any sense, and they're there for the shock value. They're 15 minutes of fame. Because put it this way, half these people that are talking about it, I have never seen these people in my life. I don't know who the fuck they are.
That's what I'm saying. The barrier to entry into podcasts now is so low that anybody can do it. And we've got accused of it on a fucking YouTube short. They were like, oh, they just let anybody into a studio and do. Like, no, bitch, we built this studio.
Yeah.
Like, fuck off. Like, and I guarantee a lot of these motherfuckers, if they didn't build their studio, or they did build their studio, I should say, they already had a lot of money, or mommy and daddy paid for that shit, so they got fucking furniture and fucking nice plants and all this other. Remember, I said from the jump I wanted a plant back here.
Yeah.
I was saying that before plants and shit even came into the fucking game.
Jared wanted plants before they even grew, motherfucker. All right.
Pretty much.
Yeah. We invented the plant. The reason you breathe is because of us. Dog. I'm buying a do-rag, by the way, and I'm going to wear it. Just thought I'd throw that out there. So I guess to the audience out there, whether you're live with us or not,
Thank you. Thank you, Londa.
is what do you to Jared's credit, what do you view as a podcast as opposed to
he kind of summed it up. He was
Here,
like,
go ahead.
he was like, you guys are not, in my opinion, you're not all about venting things such as Manosphere / Toxic Feminist podcast do. In your podcast, at least there's dialogue and it's not an echo chamber. And I agree. Like, that's what, like you were saying, that's what happens in a lot of these clips that I see. It's just, it's not just feminists. It's the other. Oh, I guess that's Manosphere. But yeah, so it'll be feminists, and then it'll be guy or girls talking shit about men, and like, oh, they're not good enough. But then it'll be a reaction video to, and I thought about doing that shit. I was like, maybe I should do some reaction videos to some stuff. But I'm like, no, because like you said, that's the echo chamber. I'm not trying to add to the bullshit.
Yeah, no, because I look at reaction videos. I look at that as one of the most.
It's clout chasing. It's clout chasing.
Yeah,
because usually what happens is, and back to this same person we were talking about earlier, I saw a fucking clip today. They were talking shit to Mike Epps on Mike Epps' fucking Instagram. And then Mike Epps said something to him back. He was like, basically, you ain't shit, motherfucker. And then he was like, so he did a whole reaction video about Mike Epps responding to him, which it says verified, but we don't know if that's the real Mike Epps. If it is, that's fine. But he still responded to him, and he made a whole entire reaction video about this shit. So it's like, you're clout chasing. He was like, oh shit, Mike Epps fucking responded to me? And then he dog shit. He talked shit about his fucking special. Like, bro, Mike Epps has way more specials than you have. You have 0 specials, and you out here talking shit about his last one, bro. You're losing your fucking mind.
Yeah, and for people that don't know, Mike Epps has been around for a very long time.
Yeah. Next Friday.
Yeah, even if he's not in your circular core of comedians or whatever. The man's been in the game for a long time, and therefore, I think when you have that level of seniority, despite whatever it may be, you got to give credit where credit is due, whether you're a fan or not. And I think I could say that, I was talking about Kevin Hart. I don't dislike Kevin Hart. I don't not like Kevin Hart, but when it comes to movies and things nowadays.
Don't talk while you're not on the mic.
Oh,
that's
sorry.
crazy. That's some fucking crazy shit.
What? Who, me? Yeah, well, I just hear
when
my
it
voice.
comes to, I am not.
Oh, I thought it was echoing off my little sound. I sound like what was it? An edited record right there, like a
weirdo.
Yeah,
like most of the rap these days.
Oh, dude, rap these days stinks.
So I wrote that down. Epic clip 222 at 117. I don't know what we were talking about, but it might have been me fucking venting or us venting. But yeah, gotcha.
No, but so to Londa's credit, I guess when we made this show, man, I guess the whole idea originally, and I think it really still holds to this point, is like, hey, let's just be ourselves and talk about things we like.
Yeah, and that's pretty much, yeah, I agree.
And
And we always said, at least for a while, we always said we weren't going to talk about politics. And it comes up every now and then. But we're not focused on politics because for whatever reason, it just doesn't make sense to talk about it. Because that's not even what we're about. You're about wrestling, games, whatever else that we decided from the beginning. And then I was like MMA. The fuck else was out?
Yeah, MMA, comics, Marvel, just like the Star Trek, Star Wars.
Oh yeah, Star Trek, Star Wars.
Just
movies and shit. Yeah,
I guess the inner kingdom of nerd, if you want to talk about it. So that's always really been the goal, and not to sound like hypocrites, and I will say this, and I'm not speaking for Jared. I'm sure there have been episodes, especially for me, where I'm over here and I'm like, hey, you know what, guys? Today is going to be a therapy session for RJ.
I remember. And there's been times when I was like, look, RJ, are you done? You got it out?
No, yeah, and
but we didn't clip those. Maybe we should have clipped those. I don't know. I don't think it would have been clip worthy. Maybe that's my problem. Maybe I don't think certain things are clip worthy, but they could be clip worthy.
Here, try it. I mean,
No,
just
I've
take-
tried. I have
yeah.
tried it because, matter of fact, when I went to that one person on Fiverr and I was like, "Hey, can you clip these?" He gave me like 9 different clips. And I was like, I thought I was trying to get some funny shit, but it didn't come out that. But that's where Little Johnny goes into the fucking chat room or the lobby, and then Little Johnny, it's
Yeah.
not safe.
Yeah.
That shit did crazy. The comments were fucking outrageous. They were fucking talking shit, but.
Yeah, remember, any reaction is a good reaction.
But the engagement was crazy on that one. Now maybe YouTube's algorithm was a little different at the time because I know they're different now. Like my last 2 joints that I put on there didn't do well. So I don't know, man. And I'm tired of trying to predict these mother. I'm just gonna and this is what I said a while ago. I'm just here to not to promote. I'm going to just do what I think is worthy of being content.
yeah, of course.
You know what I'm saying? Like I have my brand, which I want to be funny and everything, but at the same time, I don't know, maybe I
Make a point. you
yeah,
know?
I,
Like,
yeah, I still want to make a point. But that's different. When it comes to social, yes. And that's why I don't have no fucking clips of fucking crowd work because I don't know, man. I don't know.
Well, what I do
Maybe I still want to be traditional as a comedian to make it, but maybe I'm.
well, that's the
But
hard
that-
thing.
But
So-
that's what I'm saying. I'm in between.
Yeah. So that's the hard thing. So you're right. I think you hit the nail on the head, as the old cliche goes, is that we are in a day and age where we came up in a different manner and how people approach their craft. And then we also live in the same generation as how we watched it kind of flip over. And it's like, hey, man, you don't really have to be talented to be famous anymore.
That's true.
And so what happens is when we do this show, or even if we do or do not have a guest, it makes it think like, okay, so we're doing the traditional thing. We're doing a podcast. We have a guest who's got interesting topics, but are we talking about the wild butt sex we had with the 18 hookers, or whatever it is? And then everybody's like, oh my God, they had butt sex with 18 hookers? Not that I have. I'm just saying we talk about normal shit and we don't really have to go into shock value material. Material.
Jesus Louise.
Elliot Sabler, baby. But what I don't want to happen, and I'm glad you said this, is I don't want you especially, Jared, because dude, like low key, like you're the reason we have a lot of these things. I don't want you to ever sit there one day and you're thinking, hey, the traditional route is not the right way to go. It still is. And if people don't value it now, they will soon. And because the last thing I want us to do is doing 280 episodes of this podcast being low and true to ourselves. And then it's like, hey, one day we wake up and we're like, you know what? Today we're going to go outside and we're going to film, I don't know, just some crazy shit.
Well, I do want to do more skits.
Which is fine.
And I've even asked you to write stuff for you to ignore my text, but it's cool. I want to do more skits because that is, for me, that is just a different way for me to just create more stuff because I like creating stuff. I just don't want to create shit that's like lowbrow.
Yeah, no, I mean, I don't think anybody really wants to do that, but I think that also comes with trial and error too. It's like, hey, like I have an idea. Put it this way.
I can film shit. Like we've seen that.
Oh, I'm not judging
You know
you.
what I'm saying? I may not be the best fucking holder of a camera. One day I can hire I can hire a nigga to do that, but like
I never mind. I'm not going to say anything.
you shouldn't.
No, as I can't. That's right. No, but I don't want you to wake up one morning, nor do I. And I want to like, you know what? We've been doing this podcast for as long as we have. And, we're still kind of in the same position we're at. I don't want to one day for us to wake up and do something desperate in order to preserve our integrity. I don't want to do that.
Why the way that we keep from doing that is to keep this as independent as possible. Like we have to do other skits, by the way, and we have to keep doing it. And I just got to keep out on the road because that's what's gonna. Me doing comedy is gonna in turn bring people in because they want to see. If they want to see more of me, then they come into this, and then that, you know what I'm saying. So like, it's a big ass ecosystem, and I guess I've been thinking about it like that more. That like this whole entire thing, like between the clips and the podcast and the going to shows or doing shows, I should say, it's one big ecosystem, and I don't think you can be in the entertainment business because that's what we're in these days without the entire ecosystem.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's where I'm at with it. And and yes, I'm spread thin as one person. Well, two people, but like for the most part, all the other shit is all me. Also,
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
no, I understand that, and I'll be upfront with you. And again, this is the only time you'll ever hear me say this on this podcast. Right hand to God, is that, dude? I know, and I don't want you to think, because I feel lately in the day and age we're in, we're all kind of in a funk to a degree. What I want to tell you, sir, is that there is no reason for you ever to, at any point in time in your life, doubt what you have already created and what you've already done. Second guessing it is always going to be the biggest problem with anybody.
Yeah, that's definitely.
And it's one of those things that is easier said than done. It's, dude, put it this way: it's real easy to do the hard thing or the wrong thing. It's like if you get mad if somebody's arguing with you, you know what's easy? Punch them in the face. You know what the hard thing to do is sit there, hear whatever this person's, regurgitating at you, and then coming to some sort of resolution as an adult. It's always easy to do wrong. It's very hard to do right. And what I don't want to happen in any point in time for this podcast, for the sole integrity of it, because I think we're very original in the sense of that we didn't come from anywhere. We literally just did it, and it's
started from the bottom. Now we're here.
Yeah, and that's I guess that's the best way to put it. So,
all right, RJ, you're too serious now.
Okay. Are you looking at a burning castle?
Well, the chat brought this up. Epic said that Cinderella's castle actually burned down. And
oh shit!
It looks like it did.
Oh man. This is in Disney World, Disneyland.
I'm looking.
All right. So, ooh, that stinks.
I did see a video of it earlier, but I didn't think it was real. Let me see if I can find.
Oh, this is very recent, just several hours. I mean, this happened today.
Yeah, no, I told you. I saw a fucking video of this shit.
See, video shows smoke emulate from Cinderella at Disney. And, I mean.
So, Florida's Disney World.
Okay. I mean, honestly,
did Cinderella's castle Disney World burn down? TikTok video grabs users' attention. I thought it was AI, not AI, but
like some sort
like
of Photoshop?
After Effects. Yeah.
Yeah.
Red breaking burned down. Here, let me pull it up so everybody can see real quick.
Yeah, and honestly, I wouldn't mind going to Disney World. I don't know how I'd feel, but
I've been to Disney World as a kid.
Did you like it?
I mean, yeah, as a kid, yeah.
I mean, who doesn't like anything as a kid?
Actually,
God.
I have a bit that I'm working on about Disney adults.
Let's see. So as Jared's scrolling through this,
So this just shows smoke coming. Oh yeah, so the one I saw, that shit was fucking burning the fuck down.
And it was probably caused by some
Those
propane tank or
no, it was probably fireworks. Yeah, no, I don't think it's real.
What,
Trust me, this would have been all over the fucking news if it was real. Yeah, AI is crazy. See, there it is. I told you, when I looked at the video that I saw, the video said, like I could see it, and I was like, that doesn't look real. And I even watched how it fell. I don't know how I can tell. I just know what real burning buildings look like.
I mean, I think as anybody who could tell, like, I mean, fire is fire and burning is burning, and I'm sure there is a fine line between of like, oh shit, get out of the way, or like, don't worry about it.
No, these people were far away from it, but like it just didn't look real.
So
I don't think it's real. I'm pretty sure it's not real. And Ghost Ships, no, he didn't do it because it's not real.
Is Ghost Ships here?
No, he said he's down in Florida.
What I was gonna say is that that's the next crazy thing is how far AI is going, dude. and how it is going to be used as a deviation tool to some degree to persuade the general public.
Oh, Londa can speak to this. This is what he does.
Yeah, here, go ahead, Londa. Let us know.
I mean, you can't just be like, hey, if he was sitting here, that'd be a different story.
Well, I'm on a listen.
I will tell you this. My boss, I don't want to call him my boss, my manager, director, or whatever, he's all for the shit. Me personally, I've been doing web development for quite a long time, and I'm around it. I kind of understand some of the algorithms. And then I also see quantum computing coming up because I've studied a lot of quantum computing stuff. I've done actual presentations and projects on like quantum computing and security. And guess what? We're already behind the power curve. We're fucked. So then when quantum computing and AI get together, we're fucked. Skynet's here. That's all that's what I'm fucking trying to tell people. And they're like, oh, no, it's just chat GPT. You can put things, it'll put things out for you. Like, yeah, great. Until fucking the goddamn robots come to fucking take your family.
Yeah, and it's kind of crazy how accurate that is, because it's probably a real thing. And more than likely at some point in time, it is a very real thing.
Let me tell you something, bro. I've talked about quantum computer before, right? That shit is going to change computers in general. I mean, it's going to be a long time before, well, you're not going to just have a fucking quantum computer in your house anytime soon, because it takes a massive amount of energy to keep the shit cool enough. Plus, if you're running more than, I don't know, what, 8 qubits? I think it's up to 8 qubits now. It takes a lot of energy to keep that cool in a state where you can actually do computations. Now, when they get to a level where it can do 24 bits and higher, the calculations that shit can make is gonna fucking change the world. They're talking about they can calculate how nature works, like how a fucking molecule. It's the wildest shit.
That's pretty nuts, dude.
And that's just not even thinking what could happen. Now, the way AI works, and Londa can kind of, well, he's already going into it, but basically you give, and that's machine learning also, but you give this machine a data set, and it starts to learn from that. You ask it questions and it starts to learn from that data set. So, like the internet, for one thing. If you give ChatGPT full fucking scope of the internet, it can get information. So you ask it from that, it's going to snatch a whole bunch of shit from that. Now, you combine that with quantum computing, it can do all that in a fucking zip of time and scan any information, plus learn at the same. You got to remember, it's learning at the same time. So it failed this point. Okay, so next time we'll do this. Like
It's basically like a robot taking his little cybernetic tool, plugging it into the next CPU, and just learning all of American history at one time.
Yeah, but it's world history.
Yeah. Well, that's kind of what I was getting
Internet's
at.
global.
Yeah.
Let's see. I also try to tell people that AI should not be underestimated. Exactly.
Not at all, dude. Good God.
Interesting subject, quantum computing. My knowledge about this is a bit limited, so I'm all ears. I'm just saying that the computational. Just think of it like right now, what you can do with AI now. Just you could tell the AI, hey, give me a picture of fucking Brad Pitt fucking a pig.
Yeah.
It may not come out exactly, but it'll learn the more information you give it. Like AI fucking a pig, but make it more realistic. There's a bunch of, you just got to know the prompts.
So you basically tell it what to do, and it figures it out.
But it has to have that information already in its data set. Like, all right, so this is Brad Pitt. This is a fucking pig. What's fucking? And Londa can probably explain it better. But imagine if you got AI or quantum computing where you have a bunch of different possibilities at once, and instead of it being have Brad Pitt fucking a pig, I could give it an entire paragraph and it could create that whole thing. There's AI already that can create video, like just by you typing shit what you want into it. Like it can create a whole film. Imagine having a higher power computer have control of this shit.
So then we could probably maybe elaborate on it a little bit, but does that make AI like God to an extent?
No, you're going too far.
All right. I'm just saying.
Again,
because,
it's not. It has nothing to do with what.
all right. I was just throwing it out.
It's
there.
still AI. It's still artificial intelligence. It's like now, that's not to say that we aren't possibly already in an AI situation. Like we could all just be in some simulation somewhere making up this shit. Because if you think about it, if we can make it, how come something else didn't make it before?
Yeah. No. Actually, dude, I 100% would do. When I was a kid, I used to think that, like, when I was riding in the school bus, right? I thought of, I was like, hey, like, just like how you're saying a simulation, I said, like, when you're a kid and you have a bunch of action figures, you're playing make-believe in your head. It's like, oh, hey, Power Ranger. Oh, hey, Lord Zed, blah, 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 fight. You're controlling the narrative in your head.
Yeah.
One day I was riding the bus and I said to, I don't know if it was the bus driver or somebody on the bus, I said, hey, what if somebody's just playing with all this? What if we're just a bunch of action figures and somebody's just like, hey.
Exactly.
Yeah, somebody's like, hey, RJ's going to ride the bus today. And then he's going to ask this person, hey, Mr. Bus Driver or Mrs. Bus Driver, are we really people? No, there is no, where are they?
Yeah,
But-
think about
yeah.
as much as you play video games, or anybody, or a lot of us in here play games, you're controlling that person, but at the same time, they kind of exist in that world.
Yeah, you're kind of not. I know what you're saying. So you're not only like you're living in their world, but controlling it at the same time.
Yeah.
If
So who's to say that's not already a thing?
exactly.
Here's another wild fucking thing you can think about. We're talking about quantum level shit. When you're in your sleep and you're dreaming, that's a different reality, right?
It is, and
Because when it comes to so superposition, it means two particles can exist at the same time in different places.
yeah,
That's how I think about our universe. Our universe is humongous.
massive.
So by universal thinking, we're particles.
Yeah, no, we're just like that.
So
That
you
little
telling
piece of-
me we can't exist somewhere else?
Dude, there's no way. There's just no way.
What the fuck you mean?
No, what I'm saying is I agree with you because there is no way that me and you are sitting here right now as particles, like a speck of dust, like
No,
space.
we 100% are specks of dust.
Yeah, we're space dust. That's the name of this episode, space dust.
Space
By-
dust.
Space dust. Yeah. So I actually agree with you. I think what I was really getting at is like, me and you are here on the planet Earth.
Wee 003. Thank you for coming through.
What's up, wee?
That's a new follower, first time chatter.
Yeah. Welcome to the show. Thank you for joining us. You're always welcome to come check us out every Saturday.
I like
live
that
on
name.
Twitch. Wee 703?
No, 003.
003. All right.
That's my fucking Wee 703. You just want everything to be about Lorton.
No,
See,
no,
that's
no,
why
no,
you don't think far enough. Like, we're already talking about the universe. You're talking about Lorton.
I'm
and
not
shit.
talking about Lord. 703 is a very vast
Nah, it's not
number.
that vast. But anyway,
It's
get
vast.
back to what you were saying.
So my point is that, put it this way. Never mind. No, I was going to say Wee 003, at work, when we have a problem, we call it a PP. We call it a big
Okay,
PP.
back to what we were talking about. Jesus Christ. I'm sorry, everybody. So Londa said to fill me in, or to fill us in, the big problem that they're having with AI is basically biased data. And yeah, and that kind of, didn't we get that from when Twitter and I think Facebook. I was about to say FB.
Good old FB.
When Facebook had their bot or whatever, their AI bot going out, and they started doing I think it was Twitter, when they started doing a bunch of racist rants. And that's biased data, obviously. Suppose we have the face recognition. Oh yeah, well that's another big thing. Facial recognition with AI is a big problem because it doesn't do well with darker skin tones. And this was an issue. I don't know. Lana could probably talk to it better than I can, but when I was still working for that university I used to work for, we were talking about that a lot, that how it was implicit bias, not necessarily just because the fucking AI is just racist, but it's just, it can't tell the difference between darker skin tones and lighter skin tones, which is kind of good for us.
Yeah.
Because you can't catch us, bitch. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time,
It was me, motherfucker. It was me all along, Austin.
So there's that, and then what was the other thing? Facial cam, for example, potential dangerous criminal. The possible issue is that So he's saying exactly. That's definitely a thing. There is the bias as far as when it comes to facial recognition. Yes. But then there's this other shit. There's other shit where, matter of fact, Bruce Willis is one of them. I think he gave his likeness to some company years ago, so now they can just put his face on any person and just create an action film with him in it.
Well, I mean,
and they, you know what? Because we have enough of these episodes out, they can just take our fucking voice and create and just have us say whatever the fuck they want us to say.
It's funny
in Spanish or German or whatever other fucking language they want. Have you seen that lately?
I have not, but I would like to see what I'd hear like
Bro,
in a different language.
I've seen videos of Jack Black speaking full-blown Spanish. He don't speak that much Spanish. And there was somebody else that was
Let me ask you
Spanish.
this. Did it sound convincing?
No, it was 100. The lips were moving the right way. The fucking it was 100% convincing.
Okay,
but I
okay.
knew it was AI just because I can tell. Plus on TikTok it'll say AI generated. At least that's one good thing about TikTok. They will let you know when some shit is AI. It'll say AI generated at the bottom. Now, not all the time, but you can kind of tell if you know what to look for. I'll tell you one thing. If you want to really spot AI, when you see somebody post a picture and you're like, wait a minute, that's not what you look like. Or it's a picture of a bunch of people or in a crowd. Look at their hands. If their hands are all fucked up, that's AI.
Right.
It could look, everything else could look real as fuck. But you look at their hands, AI hasn't quite figured out how to do intermingling things yet.
Yeah.
Like
Only like a solid, like one piece kind of thing?
Yeah,
so to
kind
speak?
of.
Yeah.
But they can do video. That's what I was saying. They can also create just videos out of shit you type in. Like I watched one the other day. It was like, oh, give me a litter of puppies. So it was a litter of puppies playing around, but then you see like 2 or 3 puppies coming out of each other, and then they're just fucking, but they look normal. If you don't know what you're looking at, you just think there's normal puppies, but then you look like, oh wait, why did that teleport out of that fucking puppy's asshole?
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And it takes a very strong mind, or I wouldn't even say a strong mind. I would think just somebody who is just generally not
A critical thinker. so.
Yeah, like naive, I guess is the word.
Oh, you mean to just believe shit?
Yeah,
No, there's a lot of them. There's a lot of people will believe, bro. But here's the thing. Like, Londa even said it. He was like, those language videos are bonkers. Yes, they are bonkers because to the lay person, they're not going to be able to tell. Like, wait, if the caption says at the top or the title says at the top, Jack Black speaking Spanish in the interview, you're going to believe it.
Yeah.
It's because you don't know any different. You think, oh, he's just fucking speaking 100% fluent Spanish? No. Nah, son.
Yeah.
Like, that's not what that is.
No bueno.
I wish I had one pulled up, but yeah, this episode isn't real. Yes, and RJ is gone.
The who, me?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So I
Man, we just got into the shits.
Nah, I like it. And as much as we were not talking about being a venting and therapy session, that's not really what I'm
This is
going.
not a in therapy session.
No. But with I guess at the end of the day, the level of technology that we live in and modern medicine, and just how things are advancing. It's pretty wild. It's pretty wild in the sense that, we are all subjective to certain levels of thinking and ways of thinking. And then when you really hit the
Yes, sir.
the wall, and you're like, oh shit, everything I thought the whole time is completely, I wouldn't say irrelevant, but it's much bigger, is really what AI is coming to. Because trust me, I mean, as cool as I would feel to see a video of me speaking in a different dialect that I am not obviously accustomed to speaking.
Not without your permission.
No, fuck no, dude. Because who knows what I'm saying to something, and I don't understand it.
Yeah, exactly.
So, if
but this is what we're talking about. This is the whole point of the conversation. This is just the lower levels of the problems that AI can create.
It's not in full force yet.
The full force is fucking T-1000 is coming to get your ass.
And as a fan of Terminator and as a fan of Patrick Stewart.
And I want to say, Patrick Stewart?
I know. I wanted to fuck with you. I just wanted to fuck with you.
What?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm just going to leave that one alone. By the way, I want to kind of apologize to my trivia teammates a couple weeks ago.
Did you yell at them?
No.
All right.
We had a question. What was the name of the Terminator in the second Terminator? The Arnold Schwarzenegger character.
Oh, I know exactly what it is.
Okay, what was it?
He's a T-800.
Okay, so we had multiple choice, and for some reason, the first thing that came in my head was T-1000. Before you start,
all right,
I didn't realize until after that the T-1000 was not Patrick Stewart. Now you fucked me up.
Yeah, see,
Patrick something.
Patrick Roberts.
Patrick Roberts.
Yeah.
No, Robert Patrick.
Robert Patrick. There you go.
You didn't even get it right.
No, I'm just
stop pointing at me like you fucking got it.
it.
So Robert Patrick's character was the T-1000, and yes, the original Terminator was the T-800, and I was so mad about it.
Ooh, dude, wrong. You know what's crazy? That is, I'll be upfront with you, dude. If that was a question I got wrong,
I was pissed. The rest of the fucking game, I was done. I was like, bro, I don't even want to play no more.
That is, and I'm not mad at you. I'm not. I promise.
I'm mad at myself still. 2 weeks later.
But I'm gonna tell you. Like,
yeah, you're right, Londa. I was wrong.
Yeah. My dad, God rest his soul, dude. I would, if I said the same thing. Honestly, I feel for you because I would feel the same way.
I was so pissed.
Yeah, and it's okay.
You can ask Dan next time you see him. I was pissed.
Yeah, no, and honestly, if there's one thing that any of us,
because I forgot there was even a T-800, to be honest.
Yeah, no, because if you think about it, and it's hard to really, if you don't watch the films, you don't know, especially with the lore, because you're going into the second film. So Arnold's character is technically the older model without the liquid metal.
Don't even try.
Yeah. I was gonna try it, but the liquid metal. So yes. but I would have been just as mad as you, dude.
I was mad.
That is really like, that's like a man question. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
well, the thing is that week was Valentine's Day, and like all the other questions, it was weird because usually we get like real like questions, but this one was a lot of pop culture questions. And it was supposed to be like Valentine's Day question. And I was like, why the fuck did we get a T1? Like, I don't even know that question was in there, but whatever. Either way, I'm still upset about getting that one wrong. We ended up getting third, which I hate.
Put it this way, if you would have got it right, would it put you in first?
We'd have been closer.
Yeah, I mean.
We also got a couple other ones wrong that we shouldn't have gotten wrong. But it's just... those days are hard because usually when it just starts out as like we have our core, but then a lot of people will come from other places and they're already fucked up and they want to put their 2 cents worth in.
Yeah, and that's something I've learned is that, and this applies to everybody that listens to this show, or if you ever listen to the show, you might love somebody, dude, but if you run into them and they're in a completely different frame of mind, do not listen to them at all.
Whatever that means.
What I'm saying is that when somebody is overly emotional when they're intoxicated.
Oh.
Yeah, overly emotional. All right. I'm guilty of it. Yeah, you're right. And I'm not ashamed of it either. Even if it is a little cringy sometimes. You can't. You can't just be too hard on yourself, and that's my biggest
No,
problem.
well, the
you
next
know?
day is usually that's what's fucked up about alcohol. It's a depressant, so that's what happens, and so that's why when you stop drinking, you feel much better about yourself because you're not causing your fucking body to be depressed.
Yeah, and I will say after doing this, after doing this for, I guess, pretty consistently for the last 2 weeks after being kind of high and dry for a while, shit's really not good for you, man. It's just
No shit.
Yeah,
we all know that.
Yeah, and it stinks because we know we are better than that, and we are good at what we do, and we make a great podcast.
If you can handle it you can have it ever so often, but if you can't, just stay away from it.
And Jared is correct. And you know what else is a very factual statement, folks? Is that you join us every Saturday night live around here, 6:30 p.m. on Twitch.
Around here?
Around here. That's my Beyonce. Texas
I was going to say,
yeah.
nice callback.
Yeah, my Beyonce Texas Hold'em. It's a really good song. But if I have to say one thing, don't worry about the intro, worry about the outro. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for listening.
Your presumption is correct, nigga.
Absolutely. Thank you for listening to episode 222. 222s. Rick Ross voice.
22 twos.
Jay-Z voice.
Jay-Z
anyway.
voice, yeah.
Of the Mad Scientist Lab podcast. As always, it is RJ the Pizza Guy.
He was a fat Faison liar.
Along with Jared, the Visual Mad Scientist. And I have a very special announcement to make.
I don't care about this shit, though, dude.
Next week, we are going to be joined by a very special guest.
Don't tell them who, because I don't even know.
Emotional damage.
Let's just say we should all just grab a bunch of 10.
Thank you, Londa.
We will see you guys next week.
I already
And
know who it is.
As always, like, share,
We out.
hard, you
comment,
won't see nothing. Ever.
Audio Skulls all day.
The merit scientist lab. The merit scientist lab. The merit scientist lab. The merit scientist lab.
You can't have an opinion on something that you haven't even tried.
The merit scientist.